Hey guys! Okay, before I even start, it's obviously about the desert, and I'm thinking about the desert, so I just want to tell you, I'm cold. I'm all the way up in the north right now because I'm doing this video a couple weeks later, and it's cold over here. I got a jacket that's not even mine, and I borrowed, and I got a scarf and socks. And my nose is cold. But all I can think about are the beautiful sand dunes that we spent time in this place called Jaisalmer in Rajasthan. A lot of people go there for like camel safaris, and we knew someone or heard about a story of someone who did like 33 days on a camel in the desert, which is insane. We just did 3 days, so 2 nights and 3 days, and it was beautiful, perfect amount of time. I got to see these amazing sand dunes and sleep on them and just look up into the stars and spent nights just telling stories and doing riddles and like just around a fire. And we had an amazing group of people who like were obviously showing us the desert, and they made these meals just right in front of us, and it was just so interesting to live in that way. It was just really cool. It was just a really cool experience, and the sand dunes were just amazing. There were beetles everywhere, but otherwise it was really cool. Yeah, it was definitely nice being in the desert. There was no water, so no showers or anything like that. It was very basic, and I think that was the best part. Um, yeah, they're just beautiful. The sand dunes are just beautiful. Walking around the desert got me a little bit nostalgic, not nostalgic, but like homesick, because I was like, oh, I see, desert kind of, foliage, so I thought about home. But it was really nice, and I'll show you pictures right after. But it was much warmer.
खड़ा मोरे धना आपस में खड़म खा जासे आप धना बी दिन आप गलो जदरा खड़ा भी तो लीण आमी तो धन पड़ी तो खाण साहेब मीना सुकोड़ा धन पड़ी की
Okay, so obviously we didn't wander the desert just walking around. We had camels, which was so cool having our own camel. Mine was named Papu. By the way, the word for camel in Hindi is oont. I think that's an awesome word if you ever want to learn Hindi. Oont. Anyways, so we each had our own camel, and they were very stubborn, and they would definitely just try and get at any kind of food, because obviously they need to store up because they're carrying our heavy bags and all that junk that goes along with it. But it was awesome being on them. I had an amazing camel. It was a good camel. It took good care of me. It was a little bit older, but yeah, that's really it. Camel riding is just amazing. It's a little bit uncomfortable after a little while because obviously you're just sitting, and it's a little bit more widespread than a horse. So it was a little bit weird, but at the same time, it was cool. I enjoyed it. Nothing else to say really. I mean, you see pictures, you ride camel. It's a fun experience, and I guess the hardest part about riding a camel would be that it kind of when you're kind of getting up, or when the camel's getting up, it just kind of goes back, and then it goes forward, and then it goes up again. So you kind of are holding on for dear life until it settles out. We were very jealous of our camel man's just camel riding skills, because he just hopped on there and ran into the dead, or rode into the desert. It was cool though. So the final bit about the desert is that vegetarians, beware. We killed a goat. Essentially, we were talking to some guys, and they're like, "Hey, we're just getting a couple of locals and going to the desert and killing a goat and eating it." And we're like, "We'll join in." So the price of a goat was about 5,000 rupees, which is approximately $75, if I'm not mistaken, American dollars. So so they called us, and they're like, they picked out a goat from a village close by that was healthy and that was kind of young and it's good in good shape. And then we went to the desert, and they got out a sword and they chopped its head off, and then they skinned it in front of us on a tree. And I will not show all these pictures because I'm sure that some people will definitely react. I apologize, but I will say it was some of the best meat that I've had in my life. Just having fresh goat, and they cooked it in a nice curry and everything, and we all shared a meal together in the desert. I apologize, especially to my vegetarian family. I'm so sorry, but it was a really good experience. We also held its like testicles and balls and stuff in our hands. If you want to see that, that's the last picture. So if you don't want to see it, it's okay. I understand. No one really wants to see goat balls, but you never know. That's about it. The desert is amazing. Definitely was just a really, really good experience. Sadly, in Jaisalmer, there's a lot of people who are ripping tourists off. So I saw a lot of people who are upset about that, of course. I mean, it's just price-wise and experience-wise. But we were very blessed to have a good group of people, had great experiences, and I missed it. I missed it. Waking up in the desert was just so serene. That's it. Take care, guys. See you later. Bye. Obviously, pictures after.